So this video is sponsored by Pionex, one of the exchanges I use all the time. It's one of the main crypto brokers to Binance, so the volume is very high. The main thing that sets them apart though is that you can use free trading bots, a variety all designed to benefit from different market behaviours, whether that's up, down or sideways. You'll get 20% off all your trading fees for life with my link in the description. And if you join the Telegram, a lot of us already use it, so if you've got questions we can try and help you out. Hello everybody, welcome back. So just a quick video really, well I'll try and make it quick, about how not to panic in this sort of situation. This is not a bubble pop, this is not a bear market, this is just a pullback, and it's not even the most significant thing we've ever really seen. It's 15% from the absolute top to the absolute bottom of that wick. We could easily go down further than that and be perfectly comfortable with the way that this is playing out. In any asset class, right? In any asset class, your entry point is relevant to your emotional footing, right? No one wants to see unrealized gains going down, right? That's fine, but also no one really wants to be in negatives, which obviously some people will. You've seen all these videos like Crypto.com, and got Matt Damon schmoozing around saying, be brave and buy crypto, basically, which is like, yeah, it's an appropriate thing to say as we get higher and higher and higher. Essentially marking a kind of like a top in its own way, really. Be brave, buy the Bitcoin top, which is an appropriate thing to say, and yeah, I mean, 100% appropriate thing to say at this stage in the market. But it doesn't mean that this is the top. But I mean, those sort of things, it suggests to me that there is more to come, because the biggest candles are created by the retail investors, and the retail investors are now being they're being bombarded by ads all over the place. Crypto is going, it's already mainstream, but it's really is going to go mainstream, which means that there's very much, I'm pretty confident that there is a lot more to this, because if you put yourself in the minds of the whales, the people who can manipulate this market, where's your money going to come from? Are you going to take profit? Are you going to dump this market right now, just as Crypto.com got Matt Damon involved? No. You got to wait. You got to wait for a little bit of time. You got to wait a little bit longer for everybody else to get involved, and then their next door neighbours to get involved. And only when their next door neighbours have got involved, then you can take them for every penny that they put in, which is essentially what will probably happen, in this market. So it's a bit premature to expect a large dump. If anything, we have a pullback, which would allow for some decent entry points, and this will continue up over the next few weeks, months. I would expect this to continue to go up. Now, there's one indicator that I often use, which helps to navigate through what could potentially be a bubble pop, and that would be your money flow index. We've got a bubble pop over here at the parabolic top, and then another parabolic top over here, 2019, and arguably this parabolic top in 2020, and then it obviously went up a little bit more because it doesn't show on this chart, but the altcoin market went absolutely crazy at that point, causing basically more green candles and then essentially a bubble pop of the market. We'll have a quick look at that now. So this is the total market cap, including Bitcoin, so the entire market cap of cryptocurrency, and as you can see on the daily, it's very much in fitting with an uptrend. On the weekly, also extremely fitting with an uptrend. Not only that, but we do have this conversion baseline crossover here, which is a continuation signal on a long term. We've also got a cup in handle, which is formed and is still playing out, and again this pullback has barely even touched the 10 exponential, suggesting that this is just a pullback and the rest of the fun is yet to continue, right? Doesn't mean that we can't come down further in the short term. Of course we can, and not all altcoins are created equal. We can have a look at some of these just now. They're all very different. We've got Ethereum over here on our weekly, extremely bullish. Extremely bullish charts that basically mimicking the total market cap. You could argue that Ethereum is one of the main drivers, if not the main driver, to the market at the moment. And again, very neat and tidy pullback down to the green 50 exponential moving average. You've got Chainlink over here. People are going crazy over Chainlink again. It's cool again. It's back in fashion. Not quite the pinnacle of health, but still uptrend. There's nothing wrong with this. It's messy, but it's still trending up. There's no real signs of anything to be particularly worried about. Got Polkadot over here. Yeah, that was a fair old wick, but it's also been a fair old uptrend as far as this chart is concerned. Structural integrity is still intact. And one of our favourites is is XRP, which looks very different, but again, still, as far as an uptrend is concerned, it's still got the makeup of an uptrend, right? Nothing to be concerned about here. So overall, I think a lot of people are just getting a little bit too edgy about what's happened today. If you watch my channel over the last week, I've made 2 videos where I was expecting to see a big pullback, right? And a deeper one than this, down to potentially mid-50s. That might not happen, but the reason I put those numbers out there is that if that did happen, it shouldn't surprise us, right? It shouldn't surprise us at all. The liquidation events, they take out the open interest, or the futures trading, wipe the slate clean, allow for it to pick itself back up again. And again, if we look at this as well on the daily, we can see that the money flow index was very high over here. Now I was calling for a bit of a pullback on this level here, and we continued up. We did get a pullback, but the red candles do not match the green ones that brought it up here. So there's still a lot more people holding on to their Bitcoin through thick and thin. The true meaning of the term hodl, holding on for dear life. At these levels, so people are buying their Bitcoins and just holding it. They know something that we don't. Well, it depends. I think I know. They're holding on to it because they expect higher value, and they will probably receive that. There's the stock to flow ratio, isn't there? The stock to flow model determines higher prices, and it would appear that through an extremely large money flow index read over here, all the way back down here, and still perhaps maybe even decreasing at this stage now, doesn't really reflect to the same extent of red versus green. So yeah, be prepared for potentially a little bit more, maybe down to these levels around 55, 56. Be prepared for that. But if that were to happen, I don't have a crystal ball. I certainly don't have a crystal ball, but I would expect that this would mark essentially at the bottom. And if we did get down here, it would very likely be a wick that just basically just takes us back up again, new all-time highs there, and so on and so on. There's a lot of altcoins out there. We've determined on the Patreon, when we look at these things on the live streams, that suggest that towards the end of November into December, they will have the power to run. Those I've checked those, they're all still valid, they're all still fine at this level and even lower. So I'm very much bullish on this market, right? These pullbacks like this are just, it's just for you to just accept and take, ride with the punches, right? If we start breaking down below 55 and lower than that, and especially below 50, then of course we can entertain the idea of a bear market at that point. We shouldn't really be closing candles lower than that at that stage in the market. But it doesn't mark the end, because, like I say, if you think about it from a marketing perspective, right? All people are looking to do really is make money, right? Crypto's all good and fun, but really it's about making money. And if you don't think it's about making money, then I don't know what your incentives are. This is an amazing tool to make money, right? For you, for me, and for large investors and massive traders. You've got all these ETFs going on at the moment, right? So it's about rinse and repeat, right? Rinse and repeat. If you think about it in terms of that, then you can get your head around where this is going and why these things happen. It's a volatile asset, and with that you can make an enormous amount of money, whether going up and down, especially if you in some way can control this market, which obviously there are people that can control this market, like there is people who can control any market. The Wall Street Bet sort of thing can show you that from both sides. They came out of the woodwork to destroy the people who were essentially manipulating and controlling the traditional markets. Now this market is easier to control than those, and you saw what happened there. So that it happens, but psychologically it's no one's interest to break this bubble right now, which it is in a bubble. Of course it is. It's a speculative bubble. It's always been that, and it will probably continue to be that until it's well ingrained into traditional markets, which is not at the moment. It's getting there, but it's not there now. And also when the circulating supply dwindles to a large extent, then it will keep the price afloat way more than it is right now. So like I say, you think about it in those terms. It's about rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So the people who can manipulate this market, the ones who can control it to a large extent, that's what they're doing. They're just rinsing and repeating. It's not in their interest to break this, because there's too much money in this market. There's too much opportunity from them to take money from you. And what the last thing they want is for you to not put your money in, because your money, like I say, if you treat it carefully, then you can increase that. But if you've got weak hands, or essentially no TA skills, or unrealistic expectations, then yeah, it makes it harder for you to make your money. Other than that, though, this is just a pullback, and the pullback can get a bit deeper. It can scare people out of their positions, which it does all the time, and by scaring people out of their positions, they sell, and they're out of the game. They lose. I'm not suggesting at all, though, that you should unrealistically, hold unrealistic expectations for crypto. You should try to take profit on a regular basis anyway. I know that's a hard thing to say for people who are just getting into the market right now because you're not traders, and that's fine. You don't need to be a trader to make money, but realistically, you do want to try to think about how you can take money, or at least alleviate the pain from any investment once you've started to make money, like taking your original investments out and things like that. Let the profit do the work for you. But these are all things that come up with experience and time. So obviously, if you were one of the people that bought relatively close to the top on Matt Damon's recommendations, then that's not really going to be part of your plan for a little while. But again, this is a very forgiving asset class most of the time. The only component to this is time, really, and you'll be forgiven for a poor entry point. Not the case for altcoins generally, but for Bitcoin especially, it definitely is. So I thought I'd just make this video to try and alleviate some of the stress that seems to be going on at the moment. This is Bitcoin. This is crypto. This is what it does, right? The best thing you can do is just roll with the punches. On the Patreon tomorrow, I'm going to talk about futures trading, because I know that a lot of people seem to be interested in that. And I think that there are certain, rules that need to be adhered to if you're looking to do futures trading. But futures trading is an extremely profitable way to pull money out of the internet if you've got the discipline and the skills to do it. It's not for everybody. In fact, it's really not for many people. I have to say that, and this is why I don't talk about it much, but it really isn't for many people. So I'm going to do a little bit of a training session on the Patreon tomorrow for those who are interested. And other than that, just chill, just relax. End of November into December looks very rosy still. It's just a pullback. In fact, I welcome it because it allows for lower prices, which allows for more entry points. It allows for larger leveraged positions to be put in place. Over the coming, maybe even just days and weeks. Everything looks fine. Nothing to worry about. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.